Welcome to the session. My name is Jonathan. I'll be the facilitator. And we have a few announcements before we start, as usual. So to begin, we'd like to thank you all for arriving on time and also remind you that it's also important to stay the full hour and to participate in order to receive a credit. Any of you here may choose to be just observers or just to observe if you would like, but please let me know, maybe by raising your hand or writing me a message in the chat box. That way we can calculate the time correctly for everyone. And remember, though, if you do not participate, then you won't be able to count it as a credit towards the session. So good. It looks like everybody will be participating this morning. I'll be typing in the scenarios for each session or for each scenario that we do. So you can write that down. You need that in order to finish the assignment, to complete it afterwards. So please make sure that you have your chat boxes open or access to the chat box. I can also use the box to write down any medical terms that you might need for reference, or if you need to look up a word, I can give you the spelling. And I also encourage all of you to use the chat box freely. For example, if somebody is looking up a word, if you'd like to give them a suggestion, that would be nice. Or if there's any feedback, any encouragement, anything that you think would be helpful to the rest of us, then please feel free to use the chat box throughout the session. Now, you may have noticed the class is being recorded. That's something that we do at the beginning of each month in order for quality control. So that's the reason that we do that. Please make sure that all of you stay muted until I call on your name. And that way we won't cause any interference and everybody can hear clearly. Now, if you guys have any questions regarding the scenarios, something that was said in this session, or regarding interpreting in general, we'll open up for question and answers afterwards once everybody's had a chance to go. But if you have any questions regarding the course, assignments, or any technical questions, then remember that Dr. Lee has her office hours twice a week, and she's always happy to answer any questions that you have, and she would usually be the best person to answer that type of questions. So. Now, it's important to remember that in order to develop good skills, we all need to be in the habit of practicing on our own. And remember, that's something that even experienced interpreters continue to do. So it's nice to work that maybe into your daily schedule, at least a little bit each day. A really good way to do that, to practice regularly, would be by doing sight translation. So you pick an article, you pick something that you want to read, you look at it either in English or in your target language, and you read it out loud in the opposite language. So that's a really good way to practice, and it's a good chance also to check your vocabulary and look up any words you're not sure about. That also helps you to get quicker at looking words up too. So one good website that Dr. Lee likes to recommend is webmd.com. I'll put that in the chat box for you guys. And again, they have numerous medical articles on numerous subjects. So just pick one that you would like to practice, the subject that you would like to practice, and try to sight translate it. Also, another good website it looks like most of the class speaks Spanish today, but another good website to practice with is docmali.com. And they have lots of good information, also a nice podcast specifically for those who work in the medical field between Spanish and English. So that might be a nice reference also to practice with. It's also important to have a notebook. That's something that all professional interpreters will carry with them. A notebook, and you need to learn to take brief notes in order to assist you while you're interpreting. So that's especially important when you hear numbers. It's very easy to get numbers mixed up because we're concentrating so much on the message, but numbers are very important. So a good idea is to jot down any numbers you hear just to make sure you keep them right. And another thing is when there's a list of symptoms or a list of something, it's very easy to leave an item out. So try to jot something down for each one. And it's a good idea to practice just trying to find the right keywords to write down to help you when interpreting. And especially while other students while it's their turn, is a nice time to practice your note taking because there's not as much pressure with it. And it does take a little bit of getting used to in order to write notes while you're listening and preparing to interpret. So please practice that. When it is your turn, please remember to refer to yourself in the third person if you need to ask for repetition or if you need clarification or anything like that. And that's standard protocol for medical interpreters. It makes it obvious that we're no longer interpreting, but that we're requesting something. So, for example, instead of saying, "Could you please repeat that?" Say something like, "The interpreter needs repetition." And after you practice that a little bit, it'll start to come natural. For those who would like to expedite their live practice sessions or that would like to receive personalized help, there's also the option to schedule a session one-on-one with the facilitator. And if that's interested, if any of you would be interested in that, here's a link in the chat box, also where you can find out some more information about how that works. And good, give me just a moment to register those who, or to take note of those who logged in during the announcements. Again, you guys were still within the 5-minute mark, so you can still participate. Give me just a minute to write you guys down. And okay, that looks like everybody. So good. We have a smaller class today, so that gives us quite a bit of time, or a little more time each to practice. So we'll have between 5 and 6 minutes each. And let me see, the first student, when I logged in, there were a couple of you waiting. The first one that I saw on the list though was Abril Santana. Hello, Abril. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Okay, good, good. I'm not sure if I recognize your name. Is this your first session?
No, I've done it before a while back, but I kind of took a break on it because
Okay.
I don't know if you remember him speaking during the live sessions.
Yeah, okay, all right. Good, yes. All right, well, good to have you back then.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. And let me see, give me just a minute to open up the first scenario then. So the first scenario here is going to be dealing with a depressed patient. So it's a doctor's visit, but depression was the title of it. So we can get started. Hello, Isabel. How are you feeling today?
Hola Isabel, ¿cómo se siente el día de hoy?
Bueno, realmente, doctor, no me siento bien.
Well, honestly, doctor, I don't feel very well.
Well, tell me what's wrong.
Bueno, dígame qué le pasa.
Pues siento mucha fatiga
Well, I feel very fatigued,
y sigo con este dolor del estómago, es constante.
and I continue to have this constant stomach pain.
Ya sé que me han hecho todo tipo de exámenes y todo salió normal,
I know y'all have done a couple of exams and everything has came out normal,
pero yo siento que tengo un problema.
but I feel like I have a problem.
No se me quita el dolor, doctor.
The pain doesn't seem to go away.
How have you been sleeping lately?
¿Cómo ha estado descansando en las noches?
Bueno, solo duermo unas cuantas horas en la noche.
Well, I only sleep a couple hours at night.
Siempre me despierto muy temprano por la madrugada
I always wake up so early in the morning,
y no puedo conciliar el sueño de nuevo.
and I can't seem to go back to sleep.
So, what time do you usually wake up?
¿Y como a qué horas se despierta?
Bueno, muy temprano, como eso de la 1.
Well, very early, like around 1 a.m.
What time do you fall asleep?
¿Y como a qué horas se duerme?
Bueno, como eso de las 10.
Like around 10.
And how long does it take you to fall asleep?
¿Y cuánto tarda para poder dormirse?
Bueno, me paso toda la noche cuidando reloj.
Well, I spend all night staring at the clock.
Creo que tardo casi una hora en quedarme dormida.
It takes me about an hour to go to sleep.
Cuando me despierto como asustada.
And when I wake up a little startled.
Well, are you worried about something?
¿Está usted preocupado por algo?
Bueno, siempre me preocupo por todo, corre mi mente.
I'm always stressing about something, worrying about something.
Okay, good. Now, when she says corre mi mente, how could you say that?
Runs in my mind.
Okay, good. Good. That's, or my mind races would be a nice way to, but
Okay.
good.
Mhm.
All right. Pienso en todos los errores que pude haber cometido en mi trabajo.
I think about all the mistakes I could have did at my job.
Okay. Y creo que no les caigo bien a mis colegas.
And I don't think they seem to like me very much, my coworkers.
No me siento al mismo nivel de los demás.
I don't feel at the same level as everyone else.
Y me tardo mucho en aprender algo nuevo. No puedo concentrarme en mis tareas.
It takes me longer to learn something new and I can't concentrate on my work.
But Isabel, you just found this job.
Pero Isabel apenas encontró este trabajo.
It's expected that it's going to take you a while to get up to speed.
Es esperable de que tarde un poquito para alcanzar. Interpreter requires repetition.
Sure, sure. Okay. So far, by the way, your interpreting is excellent. You're keeping a nice rhythm, and you've got good feeling. Everything's perfect. I did notice that two things that have tripped you up, though, have been idiomatic expressions, right? So get up to speed, and also let's see, what was the other one? My mind. Corre mi mente, I think, was the other one, right?
Yes.
So those, they don't, if we try to do them word for word, it doesn't really come out right. So the
Yes.
trick is to think of what it means and think of a way to express the same idea in the other language. So it was, so it will take you a while to get up to speed was the expression. So, and if anybody has any suggestions in the chat box on how to handle that one, feel free to help out. Let's see. Okay, tomar el ritmo. Good. That would be a good way to say that. And ponerte al tanto also. Yes, those are
Yeah.
both good ways. In the notes here, I have ponerte al corriente is also a way. So, but yeah, again, with idiomatic expressions, we have quite a bit of freedom. We just have to make sure that it gives the same idea when we say it in the other language.
Yeah.
So, but good. Actually, the time is up. So, but really, that was excellent, Abril. Good job.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let me see. So next we have Rayel. Hello, Rayel. How are you?
Hello, I'm good.
Okay, good, good. Right, we can continue here. Let me see. So now the doctor asks, how is your family?
¿Cómo está su familia?
Have you done anything fun together lately?
¿Han hecho algo divertido últimamente?
Pues el pasado fin de semana fuimos al parque acuático.
Well, last week we went to the water park.
Y suelo disfrutarlo mucho.
I usually enjoy it a lot,
Pero esta vez me sentía hundida.
but this time I really fell down.
Y después me sentí culpable por no haberme portado más alegre.
And then I felt guilty for not enjoying the time more.
Yo quiero ser una madre feliz y apoyar a mis niños.
I want to be a happy mother and support my kids.
Y ahora me siento desamparada.
And right now I just feel discouraged.
Soy un fracaso de mamá.
Feeling like I'm a failure as a mom.
Okay, good. Isabel, you are expecting thoughts that are experiencing thoughts that are outside of reality.
Isabel, estás experimentando pensamientos que están fuera de la realidad.
I know you very well.
Yo sé que estás muy bien.
Okay, let me repeat that for you. I know you very well.
Yo te conozco muy bien.
And what you have told me is not a realistic picture of yourself.
Y lo que me has dicho no es una imagen realista de ti misma.
Okay, I think you are depressed again.
Creo que tienes depresión otra vez.
Okay, Okay, good. You're doing great, Rael. I just wanted to mention an idea here, open a parentheses, because we're always emphasizing that we need to use the usted form. And in most cases, that's the way we need to do it. But you actually did very good right here, because the fact that the doctor started by saying, I know you very well, and then is talking in a very personal level. So that actually, in a case like this, it is okay to say tú or to use the more familiar form. So I just wanted to mention that for everybody also kind of as a side note, but good. All right, so now she continues saying, pero me hace sentir muy avergonzada, doctor.
But it really makes me feel very ashamed, doctor.
Y no quiero volver a tomar medicamentos.
No, I don't want to take meds anymore. Again.
Me dan náuseas y no me gusta tomar químicos.
They really make me feel dizzy, and I don't like taking chemicals.
Okay, good. You did have one word that was a little bit off there, though. So she had said náuseas.
Oh, no, I said dizzy. I don't know if that.
Yeah, so dizzy would be a different word in Spanish then. So I don't know if anybody wants to give a hand. So
Nausea?
yeah, good. Nauseous or
Yeah.
nauseated, so it's similar. Dizzy, how would you say that in Spanish?
I think that means mareado.
Yeah, good. There, Eddie just helped you out too, so good. Yeah, that's good to remember. It's very easy, especially at the beginning, to confuse words like that. So maybe take a note of that and just practice it a few times and in different sentences. And but words like that will come up very often, and it's very important for a doctor to understand symptoms like that. So it's very important that we get them right on, because if we confuse nausea for dizziness, that could push the doctor in a whole different direction on the diagnosis. So yeah, just take a note of that and make sure you can get the two words straight. So
Thank you.
all right, you're welcome. Let me see. So continuing, now the doctor says, okay, but we must find you help
Okay, pero debemos encontrarte ayuda,
because you don't have to feel this way.
porque no tienes que sentirte de esta manera.
But before we talk more about treatment, I would like to know something.
Pero antes de que sigamos hablando acerca de tratamientos, me gustaría saber algo.
When you feel this way, have you ever thought about harming yourself?
Cuando te sientes de esta manera, ¿alguna vez has pensado acerca de dañarte?
Bueno, ¿como qué, doctor? ¿Como suicidarme?
Well, what exactly, doctor? Like killing myself?
Nunca, doctor. Yo tengo mi familia.
I would never, doctor. I have a family.
All right, good. Great job, Brian.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Next, we have Sandra. Hello, Sandra. How are you doing today?
Hi, Jonathan. Good morning.
Okay, good morning. All right, so continuing here, the patient says, quiero curarme.
I want to feel better, doctor.
Well, therapy can be very helpful.
I'm sorry, interpreter need a repetition?
Sure, therapy can be very helpful.
Terapia puede ser de buena ayuda.
I know an excellent therapist,
Conozco un terapista excelente.
but sometimes therapy combined with medications is more effective.
Y muchas veces terapia combinada con medicamento es muy efectiva.
Therefore, I would like you to come back to see me in 1 month to monitor your progress.
Por lo tanto, me gustaría verte, que vengas a verme en un mes para monitorear tu progreso.
Okay, good. So that's it for that scenario. We can start another one. And the next one here will be sore shoulder. So let me see. Good morning. So tell me, why did you come to see me?
Buenos días. Dígame por qué vino a verme.
Pues me duele mucho el hombro derecho.
Well, I feel a lot of pain in my right shoulder.
And how long have you had this problem? How did it begin?
¿Y desde cuándo tiene este problema? ¿Cómo le empezó?
Bueno, mi problema empezó hace 2 meses, después de un partido de tenis.
Well, my problem began 2 months ago after a tennis game.
Pero hace 3 años que tengo un dolor parecido de vez en cuando.
But 3 years ago, I have this pain, like this one.
Okay, good. Did the pain start suddenly or gradually?
¿El dolor inició de repente o gradualmente?
Bueno, poco a poco apareció después del partido.
Well, it appears gradually after the game.
Tuve el máximo dolor más o menos 2 días después.
Um, I feel the pain like after 2 days of the game.
Okay, so I'm going to repeat that for you. There was a detail that you left out. So, tuve el máximo dolor más o menos 2 días después.
I feel more pain 2 days after 2 days.
Okay, good. So it would be good to use most when for maximo, because more is just like it's comparative, right? But then like maximo is like the highest, so that would be like the superlative. So it would be most, the most pain, 2 days.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
you're welcome. Describe the pain for me, please.
Describa el dolor, por favor.
Bueno, es profundo y me abarca toda esta zona aquí.
Well, it's really deep and it's appear all these song here.
Okay. Okay, good. So yeah, because abarca is kind of a hard word to translate. So I can see
Yeah.
you were struggling a little bit there, but you could even just simply say like it includes or it's in. So sometimes a specific word will trip us up. So it's always good to think about the idea and just try to feel how it's comfortable in Spanish. So
Okay.
good. All right. So is it a sharp pain?
Es un dolor puntiagudo.
Bueno, solo cuando me muevo muy rápido.
Well, actually, just when I move very quickly.
Y sobre todo cuando subo mi brazo más arriba de mi cabeza.
And when I leave my arm above my head.
Okay, and how old are you?
Okay, ¿y cuántos años tiene?
Tengo 42.
I'm 42 years old.
And what do you do for a living?
¿Y qué hace para vivir?
Bueno, soy carpintero y albañil.
Well, I am a carpenter and a plumber.
Okay, so let me put that one in the chat box for you. So albañil.
Oh, okay.
So this one's
I am a carpenter and a construction worker.
okay, good. Now, this word does usually confuses most students a little bit. In most South American countries and most European countries, a builder or a construction worker, you could call an albañil. But in the States, building is done more with other materials other than because albañil refers specifically like to masonry is what Bailey just wrote, and that would be a perfect way to say it, masonry or bricklayer sometimes. But at least in the United States, when albañil is used, it's referring to a mason usually. So that might be good to remember for. But all right, but good. The time's up. So good job, Sandra.
Thank you.
And you're welcome. And let me see. Okay, so he was going to observe. So good. Next we have Florence. Hello, Florence. How are you? Wait, do we have Florence? I know she was having some problems before. No,
Hi.
yes, there you are. Okay, good morning. How are you today?
Good.
Okay, good. All right, so we have time for sight translation today, so we can start out with the scenario and then do some of that. But for now, we can continue with the scenario here. The doctor says, describe for me exactly what activities your work includes.
ushobora kumbwira mu by'ukuri ni akahe kazi ukora?
Most of the time, I work with bricks.
Buri gihe nkora ku bintu byo gufunga ibyuma.
Sometimes I make door frames.
Rimwe na rimwe nkafungura ibyuma byo kubaka.
Or window frames and walls with wood.
Cyangwa ibyuma by'amadirishya cyangwa by'imiryango.
Does it require you to work with your hands above your head?
Hari ubwo bigusaba gukoresha umutwe cyangwa amaboko cyane?
Yes, and many times for several hours, especially with carpentry.
Yego, ni kenshi amasaha menshi gukoresha intoki iyo ndi gushyiraho itapi.
And have you had this problem before?
Hari ubwo ugeze ugira kino kibazo mbere?
Yes, I have.
Yego, narakigize.
Did you have an accident which caused this pain?
Hari ubwo wagize impanuka gutera ububabare?
Yes, about 2 years ago, I fell on my arm and I put my hand out while I was falling.
Yego, mu myaka ibiri ishize nikubise hasi ngwira ukuboko n'umutwe wari uri hasi.
A doctor told me that I had a subluxation. And I put that in the chat box for you.
See, check the word.
Okay.
Umuganga yambwiye ko nagize ikibazo.
The pain was almost exactly like this time.
Ububabare bwari bumeze neza neza nk'iki gihe bwa none.
And since then, what other problems have you had?
Kuva icyo gihe ni ikihe kibazo kindi wagize?
Sometimes I felt like my shoulder is going to come out of the joint.
Rimwe na rimwe njya numva nkaho ruri gukuka rwenda kuvamo.
And after activities like tennis, my shoulder bothers me a little.
Buri gihe iyo nkoze akazi nyuma y'amasaha numva urutugu rumbabaza cyane.
But now it hurts more than ever.
None ubu biri kumbabaza kurenza uko byambabazaga.
Okay, that sounded good. Let me share or put in the chat box here. If you remember last time, we had started a brochure that talks about protecting yourself from mosquito bites. So I'll give the first suggestion here in the box. Give me just a minute. Okay, so go ahead and take a look at that, and remember this brochure was from the state of Vermont, so that's why you'll see Vermont in there. That's what it's referring to, the state of Vermont. But go ahead whenever you're ready.
Okay. Let me try to make it bigger. All right. The warning to the night in the Vermont, a mosquito is a lot of mosquito in Vermont between the day and the night and early morning.
Okay, good. I see they have a lot written there in your language for that. Just to help you out, it might be interesting for you, but in English they say between dusk and dawn. But you did very good explaining that. I was kind of curious why they had so much written for that, but good. That was good. No, that's good. That was perfect. Because you explained the idea. Some languages, they don't have one word for something. And that's what I think is happening here. I think that's why they're explaining so much they have in the parentheses, right? So, but you did very good on giving the idea. even if you didn't have that same word. So that was
Okay.
very good. Well, actually, the time is up right now, so we can stop there and we can continue with that next time. So good job, Florence.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. And let me see. Next, we have Griselda. Hello, Griselda. How are you? Wait, do we have Griselda? Looks like we may have lost her. Yeah, I don't see her here anymore. Okay, so let me take a note of that, and hopefully she'll be able to log back in. Let me see. So next then was Esther, and I think Esther was having problems too. There you are. Okay. Good morning,
Yeah,
Esther.
good
How
morning.
are you?
Good morning, I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Okay, good, thanks. All right, we can continue here with the scenario then, and then we can do some site translation to finish up for you.
Okay.
All right, the doctor asks, what other activities bother your shoulder?
Et quelle autre activité que vous faites avec votre épaule?
Well, it's always worse whenever I raise my hands above my head.
Ben, à chaque fois que je lève la main au-dessus de la tête.
And what activities relieve your pain?
Et quelle activité? Interpreter need repetition, please.
Sure. What activities relieve your pain?
Ok. Et quelle activité qui soulage votre douleur?
Well, my pain is relieved when I rest.
Ma douleur se soulage quand je me repose.
And it gets better when I work in the office.
Ça avance mieux quand je suis au bureau.
And when I don't have to lift heavy things.
Mais je dois pas lever des choses.
Then little by little, the pain seems to get better. Okay.
Hello?
Yes. Hello.
Okay.
I think you may have cut off for a second there. Could you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So he said, then little by little, my pain gets better.
Peu à peu, ma douleur va diminuer. Va être mieux.
Good. Okay. I'm going to examine your shoulder now.
Ok, maintenant je vais examiner votre épaule.
All right. So after the doctor examines the shoulder, he says, I discovered several things.
J'ai découvert quelque chose, quelques trucs.
First, your shoulder is slightly unstable.
D'abord, quand votre épaule est sur la table, is on table.
Yes, unstable. I can put that in the chat box for you. So
Unstable. Okay. Instable.
okay. Additionally, a tendon in your shoulder.
En plus de votre épaule.
It is pinched between your arm bone and your shoulder bone.
Interpreter need repetition, please.
Sure. Is pinched between your arm bone and shoulder bone.
Ok. C'est coincé entre l'os du bras et l'os de l'épaule.
Okay. All right. That sounded good. We can do a little bit of site translation to finish you off so you can go into English. If you remember, we were doing a brochure on administering yourself an injection, and they were giving some instructions. So let me see. Give me just a second, and I'll give you the next part here. Okay, so there it is. Go ahead whenever you're ready.
It's preferable to administrate several medicine and Interpreter need to look a couple forward.
Sure.
And special place.
Okay, good. And here's the next one.
Your doctor or nurse will learn you better. No, the best way you can administer the medicine.
Okay, good. And here's the next one.
Stay away of the butt. Stay away of. Interpreter need to look a couple forward.
Okay, sure.
Stay outside 1 inch radius and 2.50 cm.
Okay, so centimeters.
Centimeter, yes. For the last injection.
Okay, perfect. Good. Good job, Esther.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Right, so let me see. Moving on. Next, we have Carolina. Oh, good morning, Carolina. How are you?
Hi, good morning.
Okay, good morning. Okay, so we can continue here with the scenario from before. So now the doctor continues by saying, I would like to teach you several exercises
Me gustaría enseñarte varios ejercicios
to strengthen and stretch your shoulder.
para fortalecer y enderezar su hombro.
With more strength and flexibility in your shoulder,
Con más fuerza y estabilidad en tu hombro,
it's possible to prevent this problem from happening.
es posible prevenir este problema de sucediendo.
Oh.
de que suceda.
Bien. Okay, now I see Sandra had written estirar. I didn't catch that. I'm not sure what word you had used for
Ellos
stretch.
enderezar.
Okay, deslizar. Okay.
Enderezar.
Yeah, so enderezar. All right, yeah, so to straighten. So, all right, that would be, I mean, it's in the right direction, but estirar would definitely be the more exact word. So, good one to remember.
Okay.
All right. Now the patient says, yo hago todo lo que me diga con tal de que se me quita este dolor.
I'll do everything that you tell me to do as long as it'll take away the pain.
Okay, good. And all right, hold on just a minute. I'm not sure if the interference is that on your side. Yes. Okay. All right. Sometimes microphones are left on. So, all right. So we have another scenario now. Hospital admissions. So we can start that one. All right. So hello, can I help you?
Hola, ¿te puedo ayudar?
Sí, señor. Me dijo el doctor que me presentara aquí.
Yes, sir. The doctor told me to arrive here.
And do you have some medical records for me?
¿Y tienes algún historial médico que me puedas enseñar?
Sí, aquí está.
Yes, here they are.
Thank you. I see we have been treating you as an outpatient.
Gracias. Veo que te hemos tratado como un paciente ambulatorio.
And now the doctor wants you admitted for tests. Is that right?
Y ahora el doctor le gustaría admitirlo para hacer pruebas. ¿Eso es correcto?
Sí, así me dijo.
Yes, that's what he told me.
Okay, good. And a good thing to remember, sometimes with like hearing admitted, it can be confusing, pero internado is the most used word in Spanish there.
Okay.
I would have to check, actually. I'm I'm wondering right now, but I believe that admitir al hospital, I believe that would be Spanglish. So I would
Okay.
kind of try to stay away from it. I'm going to actually take a note and look that up afterwards, but to me it sounds more like Spanglish. So, but you'll find that the most common word used then is internar. So, all right. First, I would like you to fill out these forms.
Primero me gustaría que llenen estos formularios.
Here's a pen. Can you read in English?
Aquí hay un lapicero, ¿puedes leer en inglés?
No, señor. Prefiero que me interpreten los papeles, por favor.
No, sir, I would prefer for you to interpret the papers for me, please.
All right. The interpreter can help you with these.
Está bien, el intérprete te puede ayudar con esto.
All right, good. And I see in the chat box, Josefina helped us out. So admitir is correct. Okay, so internar admitir. Thank you, Josefina. So, all right, so good. Continuing, first there's the medical history,
Primero está el historial médico,
then the insurance forms, and finally the consent form.
después están los formularios del seguro y finalmente los formularios de consentimiento.
Ay, pero ya di estas informaciones a la recepcionista en la clínica.
But I already gave this information to the receptionist in the clinic.
Es necesario hacerlo todo de nuevo.
Is it necessary to do it all again?
I'm afraid so, Mr. Garcia.
Sí, me parece que sí, señor García.
Things may have changed since you last filled out the forms.
Es capaz que las cosas cambiaron desde la última vez que llenaste los formularios.
And we don't want to take any chances.
Y no queremos tomar ningún riesgo.
Okay, good. Now, if we stop just a second, there's an expression before that it comes up a lot in English. I'm afraid so, or I'm afraid. So in Spanish, can you think of, because I think you said me parece que sí, but it's a little bit different because he's saying, it's his way of saying that, yes, it is. There's no maybe about it. So can you think of an expression in Spanish? Go ahead, Sandra's helping you out. That's actually, it's a pretty exact interpretation, but it gives the same idea. Me temo que sí. Or so you could also say lamentablemente. So either of the two would be, they give the same idea. So,
Okay.
right.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And the time's up now. So good. Thank you, Carolina. Good job.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And let me see. Next we have Belia. Hello, Belia. How are you?
Good morning, Jonathan. Well, thank you.
Bueno. Okay, good, good. Right, so continuing here. So, está bien. Y perdón, no hay baño aquí.
That's fine. And I'm sorry, is there a restroom here?
Yes, it's down the hall to the left, just past the nursing station.
Sí, está bajando el pasillo a la izquierda, pasando la estación de enfermeras.
Gracias, muy amable.
Thank you, you're so kind.
Let me go through these forms and make sure everything's filled out okay.
Deje revisar estos formularios con usted y asegurarnos de que todo esté bien.
And I see you did not put any next of kin here.
Miro aquí que no ha puesto ningún, I'm interpreting on the look up a word.
Sure, sure. Put that in the chat box so you can see the spelling.
Noto aquí que no ha puesto ningún familiar en el formulario.
Good. Sí, es que no sabía qué poner. Todos mis hermanos viven en Puerto Rico.
Oh, yes, it's just, I didn't know what to put down. All of my brothers live in Puerto Rico.
But do you have anyone here in the U.S. that can be notified in case of an emergency?
Pero ¿tendría alguien aquí en Estados Unidos a quien se le puede notificar de alguna emergencia?
Sí, mi vecino me hace el favor de atender ciertos asuntos cuando yo no puedo.
Yes, my neighbor helps me out with situations that I'm not able to take care of.
Okay, good. Pongo el nombre de él.
Do I put his name?
Yes, that'll be fine. And what is the name of the doctor who referred you here?
Sí, eso estaría bien. ¿Y cuál es el nombre del doctor que lo refirió aquí?
Es el doctor Salinas.
It's Dr. Salinas.
Bueno, fue el último que vi por este problema del estómago.
Well, it's the last one that I saw for this stomach problem.
Pero no es mi médico de cabecera.
But he is not my main doctor.
Oh, and who is your family physician?
¿Y quién es su doctor familiar?
Bueno, la doctora Thomas.
Well, Dr. Thomas.
Okay. Okay, good. So as a side note here to help you out and just a suggestion for everybody too. So as far as like family physician or primary care provider or how that there's a lot of expressions that can be used for that, both in English and Spanish. So it's usually good to use the same expression that the patient uses. It just helps communication flow better. So in this case, he called it the médico de cabecera. So then afterwards, when the doctor asks, then, well, who is your family physician? It would be good to use the same expression that the patient used. Just it helps communication flow better, avoids any confusion, because some of the expressions might not be familiar everywhere. So yeah, just as a side note, try to, when possible, stick as close to the vocabulary the patient is familiar with as possible. So.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Let me see. So he answers, la doctora Thomas.
Dr. Thomas.
All right, thank you. Please take a seat here in the waiting room.
Okay, muchas gracias. Tome asiento en la sala de espera.
Someone will come and take you to the room where you'll be staying.
Alguien vendrá a llevarla al cuarto donde se va a estar quedando. Hospedando. would be better.
Okay. Okay, good. Yes, no, both would be acceptable, I think. Okay, so let's see. Then he's waiting in the room and a volunteer comes and says, hello, Mr. Garcia. I'm a volunteer here at the hospital.
Hola, señor García. Soy un voluntario aquí en el hospital.
I'll take you up to your room now. Please have a seat in the wheelchair.
Lo llevaré arriba a su cuarto. Por favor, tome asiento en la silla de ruedas.
Y la silla de ruedas, pero mis pies están perfectamente bien.
The wheelchair, but my feet are perfectly fine.
Yo puedo andar muy bien.
I can be perfectly fine on my own.
Okay, so think about the context. This is kind of a strange use of the word, but it does fit. So if you think of andar in the literal sense, puedo andar muy bien.
I can walk very well on my own.
Okay, good, perfect. Again, because the context helps us understand that too, because of the wheelchair.
Okay.
All right, you're welcome. I know, Mr. Garcia, but it's just hospital regulations.
Sí, yo sé, señor García, pero simplemente son regulaciones del hospital.
We don't want anything to happen to you while you're on your way up to your room.
No queremos que nada le suceda en lo que sube a su habitación.
Ah, bueno, pero no soy tullido.
Okay, but I'm gonna look up that word.
Sure. Here it is in the chat box there.
Tullido como entumido. Is that cripple?
Yeah, crippled. Perfect.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Right.
Okay, but I'm not crippled.
Okay, I know. Oh, actually, that's it for the time. So
Okay.
that's
Thank you.
go ahead. You're welcome. But good job, Velia.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. All right. Next, we have Josefina. Hello, Josefina.
Hello, Jonathan. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Very good, thank you.
Okay, good. Let me see. I'm trying to remember. I think I recognize your name, but if
Yes,
it's been a
long
while
time
though, right?
ago.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a
All right.
while.
Okay, good. Well,
Yes.
welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Mhm.
All right, we can continue here then. Let me see. Now, have you ever been hospitalized before?
¿Has estado hospitalizado antes?
Sí, tuve una hernia que me operaron en el 86.
Yes, I had oh my goodness, let me look for that word. I'm sorry.
Sure, no problem. And this is one of those that's actually spelled identical in both languages. So.
Oh, hernia. Yes,
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
sorry.
But
I had
okay, go ahead. Sorry.
sorry. I had a hernia like a year ago.
Okay.
Is it a year
So
ago?
yeah. So
Uh-huh.
do you remember? Do you have any notes on what was said, or do you need repetition?
No, I need repetition, please.
Okay,
Again.
sure, sure, no problem. I had a hernia that was operated on in '86.
Sí, tuve una hernia que fue operada hace un año. No, en el
Okay.
86, perdón, en el 86.
Okay,
I'm
good, good.
sorry. I'm really out of practice. I'm sorry, Jonathan.
No, no problem. Make sure you're breathing. That happens sometimes. We get nervous, we stop breathing, and if we don't breathe, nothing works. So,
Yeah.
all right. But what happened here, what I think anyway, is that sometimes if there's a word we're not sure about, it puts our brain just goes on alert, and we don't listen very well.
Yes, that's true.
So we need to kind of train our brains to, even when we get nervous, when we need to look a word up, to keep paying attention.
That's right.
So to the rest of the message. So I think that's what happened. You missed it because of that, and then one error and another, your nerves get bad, and we stop breathing, and everything goes bad. So
I know. I'm sorry.
no problem. That's good.
Uh-huh.
That's why these sessions are good, because they teach us to deal with that. So just
That's right.
remember, if that does happen, take a deep breath and make sure you keep breathing and just kind of restart. So there's no problem with just right from the beginning asking for repetition,
Okay.
or asking for a moment to look the word up and then going from there. So.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. If we can just stop 1 second, I see Belia has her hand up. I'm not sure if it's something urgent
Sure.
or yes, Belia, did you need something?
I'm so sorry. No, I didn't even realize I did that.
Okay, sure, no problem. Well, sometimes if you hit something on your keyboard, it sends messages like that. For some reason, I don't know, but all right. Okay, so continuing. Okay, so you know the routine. You'll probably only be here a couple of days.
Muy bien, entonces conoce la rutina. Solo he estado aquí algunos días.
So here we are at your room.
So aquí estamos en su habitación.
¿Y habrá otro paciente aquí conmigo?
And will it be another patient in here with me?
Well, there isn't anyone right now, but there may be later.
Pues por el momento no hay nadie, pero probablemente más tarde sí lo haya.
Now, I'd like you to disrobe and slip on this gown.
Y ahora me gustaría que se quitara su ropa y se pusiera esta bata.
With the opening in the back.
Con la abertura hacia atrás.
Ah, sí, ya me estoy recordando estas malditas batas del hospital.
Oh, yes, now I am remembering this robes in the hospital. I don't know how to say malditas. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, but there's, with words like that, sometimes in a situation like this, if you want to just omit it,
Right.
a lot of times I will, just because to not come across as being too
rude.
Rude to the doctor.
Right.
The tone of voice can give the right feeling, but
That's right.
the time where you shouldn't admit a word like that would be like with a psychologist, because
okay.
they're actually diagnosing the mental well-being. So in that case, if somebody really starts using words that you don't feel comfortable with, you can ask the doctor if he
Okay.
would like you to. You could say, well, there was some foul language. This isn't a foul word, but it's going in that direction. But just to open up a parenthesis here, let's
Okay.
say you're with a psychologist and they start using some really foul language. You might want to just pause and ask the psychologist, he's using some foul language. Would you like me to interpret word for word or the exact meanings? And the psychologist it might be important for them to understand. So let them decide. And
Right.
if they say yes, then as interpreters, that's even if you don't use that type of language in day-to-day work, you need to keep up with the person and use that language. If instead, if the psychologist says, no, just give me the idea, or just sometimes they won't want to hear the foul language. So
Yeah.
the same
That's
with a
right.
psychologist or police officers also. If you ever work with 911,
Oh, yeah.
it's helpful for them to understand the mental state of the person. So So sometimes if it's an emergency, you just have to go with it. If it's more paused, you can always ask the police officer, would you like me to include that, or the judge, or in a situation like that. So
Okay, good to know that.
all right, no, good.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah,
All right,
because
you're
it
welcome.
can happen. It happens. So
Yes, no, yes, it does. So in a situation like this, it's not necessary for any reason. He's
right.
but and just the tone of our voice can follow his tone, and kind of if there's sarcasm or something in there, we can just it's understood through the tone of voice as well. So
Right. Thank you.
all right, you're welcome. But all right, the time is up. So thank you, Josefina. Good to have you
You're
back.
welcome. Thank you,
And
Jonathan, for your help.
all right,
Yeah.
you're welcome. And did you notice though, after just breathing, everything went perfectly? So
That's right.
so
You
yeah,
are so right.
unfortunately, all right, that's happens sometimes. But
wa-
simply taking a deep breath, a lot of times we can reset and just keep going. So
That's right. Okay.
all
Well,
right,
thank you so much, Jonathan, and I hope to see you soon next time, the next
okay,
training.
okay, sure. Good to have you, and hope to see you soon.
Thank you.
All right,
Yes.
you're welcome. And let me see. I see Wa. Hello, Wa. It's good to have you. But yes, you did join very late, so unfortunately, I can't let you participate. It's a shame because we actually do have time, because we had a student who lost connection. Griselda, let's see, isn't back yet. So, and then yes, another. Oh, we lost 2 students right now, so we did have time, but unfortunately, we're after. Yeah, you were too late to let you participate. So it was nice to have you as an observer, though. And good. So because we had 2 students not participate, then we have a few minutes left. So we can go ahead and open up for questions and answers right now if anybody has any questions. And let me see. I can also, everybody.